welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Rosie, it's my husband Jeremy.
Hi.
This is week 11 of our yoga teacher training. It's the final week. We've just finished Saturday. It actually went a lot better today than I thought it would. I was like super nervous about this weekend. So we started off this morning with group 7 practice, which was really good.
Yeah.
So then after the practice, we went into breakout rooms with a couple of other people, there's about 6 of us, and all talked about our feedback from some homework that we did like a week or 2 ago. We had to write a 60-minute sequence, and then for last week we had to record 15 minutes in the middle. So we went into breakout rooms and read our feedback from the full 60-minute segment. Some of mine was, in terms of like what was the theme of the class, and like the theme of the Shavasana. Was there going to be any music? One of them was like, after bridge pose you need to neutralize the spine, which for me I automatically have bridge pose and then feet out to one side and knock your knees together. So for me that's kind of, I had always would do them together. I see them as like two things in one. So that was like, I didn't write it down, but it's not really something that I would forget about either. Do you remember any of yours that was good?
Yeah, I had a couple that I liked about, it was interesting. First about, do I give time to set an intention or centering, which is, I don't do intentions because I don't resonate with that. Or alternatives to folding forward or to pigeon pose. So yeah, just to make the class more accessible, because those poses are not accessible to everyone. So that was good to make me think about other ways to cue my flow if I have a broad audience, I would say.
So that was nice, listening to other people's feedback as well.
And then we had a talk for a while. You don't remember what we did, right?
No, don't remember.
So we talked for a bit, and we went back into the same breakout room.
Oh, what did we talk about first? You said we talked a bit.
Yeah, about that.
Oh, in the breakout room, yeah, okay.
Like after the breakout room, we went back into the main Zoom.
Okay.
And we all shared stuff.
Okay.
And then
got it.
And then we went back into the breakout room, and we had to basically create a 1-hour class.
Oh yeah.
So we were divided into 4 groups. One group was in charge of the warm-up, one sun salutation, one standing poses, and us seated and cool down Shavasana. And so we had in 10 minutes to come up with a few poses and how to cue them, and each of us had to cue for to teach for like a minute or 2. So we had like 2 poses each, I think.
Which I'm so glad we got that part of the sequence, because that's my favourite part for a start, is the cool down. And also I had 2 poses that I knew and that I'm doing tomorrow anyway, and it was kind of easy. But some of the people, they were doing, for example, like Warrior 1, standing splits, half moon, and then back into Warrior 1 or something, like doing like 3 or 4 poses that are challenging poses to cue anyway.
So the idea was the 4 groups create a class, and then we went back into all together, and we taught the class to our teacher.
Yeah, so only he was practicing.
Yeah, he was the only one practicing, and yeah, we had to go like one after the other to have a 1-hour flow.
But what was good as well is if we say go into Warrior 1, he would not go into it. He would wait until you tell him what to do. And one of the ones actually is interesting is Sufi circles, because I didn't know what Sufi circles was until this training. So people would say to him, now do some Sufi circles, and he just sat there like, so you have to physically say, okay, move your shoulders in a big circle so that you rotate your hips. Like you kind of have to work on your cues, particularly. You can't just rely on the poses, which I found a couple of people relied on the poses, and then a couple of people were really good at cueing. But it's really good to listen to other people and what they say and their cues, and also to learn from their mistakes, and also to learn from their good points. And we talked about tone of voice quite a bit as well, because some people have like a quieter tone of voice, whereas other people are very present, I would say. So it's really interesting, because we're all obviously really different, but it's nice to learn from each other.
And then what did we do?
I have no idea.
We went for lunch.
Okay.
And after lunch, we had a debrief about all that. So we went in order of what we had to taught in a class, and we were giving our own feedback. So I did like, so I did Malasana and Dandasana. I felt X, Y, Z. And then people were giving feedback about our cueing, like positive or critical feedback about things we would do differently. Or
which was interesting for yours because Jeremy's was to do Malasana, which is a squat pose, and Adrian specifically did not go down all the way, and he was kind of trying to say that everyone can do squat pose where they sit on the floor. And you kind of said bring in a block and try and sit on there.
And
okay, bring in another block and I sit
still
on there. And he still didn't sit down. So it was interesting because then they had a conversation afterwards talking about how you can, if people can't get down, is to do goddess squat instead, and how that could be the way that you move into it, so that you can start in goddess squat, and then if people want to, then they can move down. So I never connected those two together, and you said you hadn't either. So that was really interesting. Again, kind of teaching each other and also learning from each other, so we could say, oh, rather than saying that, you could have said that, or actually rather than that cue, I would have said that cue. So it's really nice to give feedback to each other in a really positive way, in a way that, you know, maybe if you point out somebody said something, but then I'm sure everyone can learn from it.
Oh yeah. Everything that I wrote, I would have done it myself. So
same.
Good.
It's kind of teaching ourselves more than teaching other people, but it's interesting.
So that took a little while.
Yeah.
For sure. And then what did you do?
I don't fucking know.
And then we do an Asana Lab, so we could pick a pose and review it, how to cue it, what are the alignment issues or whatever. So we went through, I'm not sure, between 5 and 10 different poses.
Yeah, about 10.
Someone was demonstrating, someone was cueing. Yeah, just to go over what is unclear.
Yeah, just revisit the ones that we're not sure about.
Yeah.
Which was good. And then, is that it?
And at the end, we went back into the same breakout room.
Yeah. And we read our feedback from our 15-minute segment that we taught, like I said earlier.
The voice recording.
Which was good, because he said to me, I sounded nervous, which I was. I mean, I'm always going to sound nervous, it's me. But otherwise, he said that he liked the chest open and the hips open in Warrior 2. He liked my economy of words, and my cues were good. So not a lot of feedback, really, which was nice.
Oh, positive feedback.
Yeah, I know. That's what I mean. It was positive, but it wasn't a whole lot either, because some people had big chunks, and it was nice to be like, oh, okay, I'm not that bad then. And what was your feedback?
Yeah, it was good as well, actually. Calming tone, probably. I would not say that about me, but interesting. It's interesting to see how other people perceive your voice and your tone. I don't feel it's calming. But, I don't know. Yeah. It was pretty positive actually as well. He said that one of the cue I used for Humble Warrior was interesting. You have to Google it. It was good as well. Not much negative critique.
I really enjoyed today because I feel like now I kind of feel like I know what's going on. Like I know a lot of the poses, I know a lot of the cues, I know I can notice people's mistakes and I can notice people's strengths as well. And same in myself, I can say something and think, oh, I shouldn't have said that, or oh, actually that was a really good one. So it's interesting now, if you compare back to the week 1 where cueing sun citation A, it was move your foot here and do, it was just so awkward and we kind of didn't have a clue what we were doing.
We should have recorded the yoga with Rosie before yoga teacher training, because I'm the only one who experienced it. And
well, I recorded my very first teaching experience. Remember, I pressed record rather than a time lapse because I wanted to be able to go back and watch it. So I think at some point I'll do a video and show you that and everything. But it's nice now to feel quite confident, quietly confident in my knowledge and knowing that I would be able to lead a 1-hour class and nobody would hurt themselves. I feel like everybody would feel welcome. I feel like I know to start with the easiest pose or the most accessible pose and then move on from there if people want to. And I feel like using blocks, I now know how to use blocks. I didn't know how to use them before. Yeah. So I feel like a lot of, like I said, quietly confident. I don't think I'm the best teacher, and it's not about being the best, but I do feel like I'd be capable.
Talking about confidence, what was the end of the day actually?
So teaching, I feel very confident with. Very confident. I feel okay. And then at the end of the class, he basically gave us about 20 topics that are going to be on the exam. Questions that are going to be on the exam tomorrow. Do you want to bring it over? Go and grab it. And this is where I'm going to struggle because a lot of it is theoretical stuff. So
it's all the spiritual crap. Thank you, Adrian.
Well, no, so it's like, what is yoga? Okay, well, do you mean, like, what does the word yoga actually mean? Well, I don't know, anyway.
Well, whatever.
But the other one's like, the second sutra and the meaning. I have no idea what a sutra is. What is meditation? Well, that's a very broad question. Who is Punjalini, or whatever his name?
Patanjali and Krishna. Oh.
And Krishna. Difference between warrior 1, warrior 2. I can do that, fine. The second auto...
No, the two different things of the nervous system.
Oh yeah, the 3 bandhas. The yamas and niyamas, know them and explain what each of them are. Like, we went over that very quickly.
Well, we went over it yesterday.
No, I mean, like, in class, I feel like we maybe spent an hour on it maybe 5 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And we've now got to remember that.
Like 11 times.
Bhakti yoga, no idea what that is.
Never. I don't
think we've even talked about it. There was one, and it was like, what is... I broke down Prashna and Preeti. I've never heard that before in my life. What is mantra? Don't really know. Ujjayi breath is kind of when you restrict your breathing, but I wouldn't know how to explain it. What's a chakra? Apparently,
a pile of crap.
No. Like, I know it's an energy field in your body, and there's hundreds, but there's 7 main ones. But I mean, you have to believe in that to be able to talk about it. Like, I'm a very science person. I like to know where the bones are and like actual like things that I know, like I can feel and I know. Whereas a chakra,
yeah, of course, we have to be assessed on everything, and the spiritual part of it that we don't relate to has to be tested as well, just to see if at least we understood it.
Well, I didn't.
But it's fine. Like, I mean, I'm pretty sure they know, because they know us, that the part that we don't resonate with is all that. Like, they know it. They're not going to be surprised when they see, like...
But then what's interesting, so, like, what's fascia, I think I could explain that, it's fine. One of them was about cultural appropriation, and that's interesting because I feel like I could teach yoga, but I couldn't tell you about the yamas and niyamas, and I couldn't tell you about the 8 limbs of yoga, and I couldn't tell you about all the other... Like, I enjoy the physical aspect, so then is it cultural appropriation that I'm teaching something that I don't know the history behind? So that's going to be
history, just don't relate to it.
And that's going to be one of the questions. And intersectionality I need to review. Why is accessibility important?
That's so open.
Secondary trauma. Yeah, like, I feel like half of these I could get, but like Bhakti yoga, no idea. Yamas and niyamas, we quickly went over it yesterday, but I don't remember any of them.
Ahimsa, non-violence, tapas, do your best.
Yeah, see, we need to...
Brahmacharya is about, like, not having sex. So...
don't waste your energy or something.
Yeah. Okay, that's 3.
So it's going to be a long night ahead. I think we're going to go for a walk outside. I always want to see Jason before we go to bed. But basically then... So tomorrow morning, I'm going to be teaching from... Well, my group is teaching from 8:30 until 9:30. So I'll be teaching probably, like... the last 20 minutes. So I need to prepare for that. And then we're going to do an exam from 10:30 to 12:30.
And then for an hour, we're going to go through Sanskrit pronunciation.
Yeah,
and
then the exam from 10:30 to 12:30. He said he could give us an extra half an hour if we need to, because I was worried about my dyslexia and kind of comprehension of the questions and also like writing things out. So we'll see. And I don't know what we're doing tomorrow afternoon. I guess reviewing things.
Party time. That's what he texted.
Yeah, I don't know what that means. I guess that means...
We're going to watch a video.
More yoga.
No, he said today's the last practice. We don't practice anymore.
Okay. So it's going to be a busy day tomorrow. I've got to teach and then do an exam.
All that without sleeping 1 minute tonight, because you're going to be freaking out.
Do you know, I actually feel a lot calmer than I did 2 weeks ago when I was crying and hysterical. And I'm on my period, so that makes 0 sense.
Yeah.
But I actually feel okay.
Good.
I feel okay about my teaching. I think it's going to be a nice sequence. I feel like I've got that down. I feel okay about a lot of this. It's just like the yamas and niyamas. Who's Patanjali? Who's Krishna? What's a sutra?
Well, that's the dude that Giovanna told
mantra?
us in the podcast.
I know that, and I know he wrote a book. He
didn't even exist, I think. It's a fictional character that basically put things together, and he's like the creator of the modern yoga poses shit.
Well, see, I need to Google that. So I think basically tonight I'm going to have like a Word document open. Because basically we were revising yesterday and I was writing things down here. So like the yamas are the external things and the 8 limbs of yoga. Like we were writing all this down, which is good. But I think what I need to do is literally have Google open and have my thing open and just sit and type. And it's hard for me to learn as well. You're very good at just like you'll read something once and you'll remember. Whereas I don't know if I'm better to actually write things down.
I don't know about that. I don't.
And also,
because I'm not interested in a lot of those things. So.
But then also, I've got to know the Sanskrit and the English words for sun citation A and B, and I'm guessing the other ones that we know, like the mothering sequence.
Yeah.
So like.
That's fine.
Yeah, that's fine. But apart from upward facing dog and downward facing dog, I don't quite know which one's which. So I need to practice that, and like I still need to go over that. So there's a lot I'm gonna have to do tonight. So. We're going to cut this video here because I need to revise and go outside and walk. But we'll be back tomorrow, hopefully, with some good news. Or I'll be a crying mess in the corner.
Alright.
But I said to Jeremy, we're going to have to get a bottle of wine or something tomorrow so I can have a drink and like sleep because I haven't slept properly in a little while. Anyway, that's all for tonight. We'll be back in 1 second for tomorrow. Bye! We did it! We are officially yoga teachers. So today was the last day. This morning, so first of all, last night, we were revising until gone midnight because we had the exam today and I was nervous and I was basically Googling everything and I had like a 7-page document open that I was like writing everything down. So I slept quite well actually, considering, because then this morning I was teaching. So me and 2 of the girls were teaching an hour class and mine was the last 20 minutes. And mine was like starting in tree pose, ended up in Shavasana, which is the part of the routine that I enjoy teaching. I think I'm quite calm and I have quite like a relaxing voice and everyone seemed to really enjoy it.
Oh yeah, you knocked me out every time. Yeah,
so I was super proud of myself because I thought I would like stumble on my words because like oftentimes during the program, during this like 11-week program, I've got to teach something and my mind just goes completely blank and then I panic and I'm like, oh my god, I'm panicking, oh my god, I don't know what I'm doing, and like I say that, I can't not say that. So the fact that I didn't do that, I'm proud of myself. Like I made a couple of mistakes but I just corrected myself straight away. Like at one point I went to say bring your left knee to your left nose. I said bring your left knee to your nose.
I didn't hear that.
No, I said nose. Okay. Like I was going to say left nose. Or like you said something like the first thing I started saying, apparently I messed up, I don't remember that. But I think I did really well, like I'm super proud of myself, which is a lot for me to say, isn't it?
Yeah, you did well.
So that was good. And then we had Sanskrit with Dennis for about an hour and we were kind of going over words and how to say them. So rather than like mantra, it's mantra. Or like...
Doing a really good
mantra.
Hunter voice.
Yeah. Or like... I don't know, just kind of reminding ourselves how to say, how to say certain words, because like, yeah, but we did that. And then it was time for the exam.
For the 2 hours exam.
So I messaged Sarah yesterday because I'm dyslexic and I sometimes struggle with like tests and what the question's actually asking me and comprehension and also spelling and things like that. I messaged Sarah yesterday saying like, I'm going to need more than 2 hours, like I don't feel confident about this. And she was like, don't worry, you'll be fine, we can accommodate if you need more time. Well, both of us took, I think you finished before me, but I took at least...
For me, 3 hours, exactly 3 hours.
And I think me like 3.5 hours, so it's no way. Like it's 108 questions. Some of them...
Which is a lot, I mean, if you spend like...
It's a lot.
Just 2 minutes per question, which is not much, in average, that's, like pretty much 3 hours already.
Because it was... So some of them were like true or false. Some of them were like, A or B kind of options. But then some of them were like...
Most of them.
Most of them were like, what's the difference between warrior 1 and warrior 2? So obviously that's not just one word.
Well, that's
it's kind of like a
one.
written... Yeah, that was an easy one. Another one was write down the whole sequence of sun citation B. In English and Sanskrit. So I went the whole way through, so even repeating poses if I needed to make sure I kind of had the whole thing.
Or cue the pose, cue
going from Janushrashasana to Baddha-Konasana, for example, so you have to kind of say, okay, we'll do this, do that, move this, move that.
Takes time.
Yeah, it takes time.
And write it down.
And I think about what the question is. It was an open book exam as well, so we could use our notes, which was good, because I did a lot. And even like, I probably shouldn't say this, but I was asking Jeremy some questions as well, being like, is this right what I've said? Like, what did you write for this one? Because I don't quite know. And so, not that we cheat, it's not that you cheat, because I feel like either way you're learning, whether you're asking questions, you know, or not, or, you know, checking your notes or not. So it was definitely harder than I thought it would be, but it was also very broad. It was kind of like, who is Patanjali? And then, what is yoga? What is meditation? But then also, like, what does the hip movement do?
What's your favorite muscle?
What's your favourite muscle?
That was a funny one.
That was my favourite question, because I wrote tricep or bicep? I think I wrote tricep and James was like, that's your bicep. And I was like, okay, bicep. And it says something like, what's your favourite muscle?
And what?
What movements does it do or something? So I said, the bicep, because it brings food into my mouth. But I think at that point I just had enough, and I was just like, I don't, like, this isn't going to get me any points whether I say like...
You need to share that.
I think I will do. I feel kind of rude though for putting that like I was taking the piss. But at the same time, and I don't have a favourite muscle. And saying, what's your favourite pose? Well, mine's like child's pose and Shavasana. Honestly, Shavasana is my favourite pose, but I didn't want to put... The first thing that came to mind was child's pose and Shavasana, because I like restorative and relaxing poses. But if I was to pick a standing pose, it would be Parvita Trikonasana. Is that the right word at the beginning?
Revolve triangle?
Not revolve, the other one then. Uttita Trikonasana. Because this lighting. Basically triangle pose, because I like the stretch in the legs, I like the chest and the heart being open, I like the arm up. It's challenging, but it's not like, I don't feel like I'm going to fall over. It's not hard, but it's challenging. Yeah. What did you put for that one?
Pigeon pose.
Oh yeah.
I was actually going to put triangle.
Yeah, I like that one.
I was actually prefer pigeon.
So it was interesting, like it definitely took a lot longer than we expected, and longer than the staff was expecting as well. They said 2 hours.
It took 4.5 hours to some people.
Some people took 4.5, I took 3.5, some people took 2, but not like 1 or 2 people I think took 2 hours.
It was long.
It was long, it was a lot, but I'm glad we finished it. We had some lunch at like 2 p.m. or something, 2 till 3. And then for the past like hour and a half, 2 hours, we've just been sharing our experiences and kind of just having a nice discussion. So each of us went through and kind of talked about anything I wanted to talk about basically. So I just said, like, obviously I was crying. Everyone was, well, not everyone was crying, but some people were crying before me, which meant that I was crying when it was my turn. And I just said, like, thank you for everyone for being part of it and for helping us through it, for being a long journey. It was way more than I thought it would be. And then I was like, and I can't wait to start teaching people. And then I started crying. I was like, you're done.
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah.
And I watched the video as well.
Yeah, so I put together a nice
clip.
video of like some of our photographs from our journey and some of the videos from the teachers had left us just saying congrats on finishing. And so that was really nice. And then Sari and Dennis and Adrian spoke as well and kind of said their little piece. And then that was it.
Yeah.
So we've submitted our tests. I think we're going to hear back from them in a day or two. A week or two, sorry. And they're going to kind of give us feedback. And they said we might have a discussion if there's things you didn't understand. Like some of them for sure, like that critter word. Anyway, so there was one word that I didn't know. And I kind of wrote the definition that I had in my notes, but I still don't really understand it. So I kind of said like, whatever it is, but I don't really understand. So I'm sure they'll speak to us about things that maybe we got wrong or that maybe we didn't understand. But yeah, we're finished now, so it's time. I'm going to go and get a shower, and then we've got Sari coming around this evening to record a podcast episode, which would be good.
A lot of crying.
Be a lot of crying, I think, because we're both criers, me and her. But that will be out soon on the podcast, so make sure you go and follow us there as well. But yeah, that's kind of been...
So next week, yoga with Rosie on the channel.
Maybe.
No pressure.
Well, I might do one more video talking about the whole journey from like week 1 to week 11.
Okay. And
kind of talk about like what I was expecting, how it was at the beginning, and then maybe things we talked about, or I'll just go straight into teaching, we'll see. I've had some ideas. I'd like to do some like desk yoga for people that are at the office and like just relaxing yoga. And it's interesting, I think something I might want to do later on, maybe in a couple of months, is more restorative or maybe yin yoga training and learn more about that, because that's the side that I really enjoy, is the kind of the cool down and the beginning, not so much the middle bit. So I think we'll see, but hopefully I'm going to start teaching, because I really want to like teach where we go traveling around the world. So maybe do some like on the beach or in the design district or in Wynwood against a cool wall. I think that'd be really nice. try and get a couple of like fun videos while we're here. And then yeah, just do videos wherever we go. So like in the vineyards in France and in the countryside in England and on a beach in Thailand and wherever else we end up going.
Yeah. Put some thumbs up if you want her to teach.
Yeah, please give me some support because I'm nervous about it. Yeah, it's scary. But that's it for this video and for this series really. We'll see, I might do one more video, but otherwise that's kind of it. So thank you for watching and thank you for being with us for this whole 11 weeks. Make sure you subscribe so that you can watch me teaching yoga. You can either just have a laugh or you can practice along with me. Either way, come back for my videos. If you enjoyed it, make sure you give it a thumbs up and we will see you very soon.
Bye.
Bye.